I always like starting off a podcast episode just doing some tongue twisters to get myself warmed up. So, if you don't mind, I'm going to do them right now. Sally sells seashells by the seashore. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Unique New York. Unique New York. Oh, now brown cow. Yeah, well, anyways, welcome to Morning Walks. So, a new Star Wars movie just came out recently. It's been a minute since one came out that I know of, and I just went and saw it. It's The Mandalorian and Grogu, if you don't know. I thought it was really good. I haven't finished the Mandalorian series, so it wasn't that confusing. I kind of inferred a lot of it, so it was actually I actually like staked staked what was stuck with it um pretty well. um that's definitely a movie that I would highly recommend. So yeah, if you haven't seen that, go watch it. So apparently if you're a Jedi and you become a Sith, your lightsaber turns red when you get like really angry and like you do something bad or stuff like that. And Uh, and everyone's always, or I'm not really sure if they've come to the conclusion I came to, but when I've heard a bunch of people say that why didn't Anakin's lightsaber turn red when he killed all the younglings or whatever they're called, all the kids basically. But I know why not. It's because he was acting out of love and he thought what he was doing was the right thing. So if he was like, if he knew it was the wrong thing, and if he was doing it out of hate or out of spite or something like that, then his lightsaber probably would have turned red. But since it didn't, that's why it stayed blue. So that's my take on it. I'm not sure if that's true or not. I'm not very educated in Star Wars, but it's kind of my poll. Speaking of movies and TV shows, I finished the first 3 seasons of Arrested Development. If you don't know, it's a show with Jason Bateman and Will Arnett and David Cross and Michael Sierra. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but yeah, it's with all of them. So it's a really good. It's like a sitcom comedy. Uh, I'm not. I don't know if this is true, but I think it's like one of the first sitcoms because, or not one of the first sitcoms, but I've heard a lot about how it was way ahead of its time. Because when it was coming out, there was still, like, cable and stuff, and usually with cable, you wanna have, like, a show that you don't really have to follow it that much, and you could just tune in whenever on any episode, and you'll get it, it'll be fine. But with Arrested Development, it was kinda more like a binge watch show. So yeah, that's why it got canceled after season 3, and then Netflix picked it up and did seasons 4 and 5. I started season 4, kinda sucks that it took them so long because they ended season 3 in 2006, and then Netflix started season 4 2017 or 18, and so it was there was definitely, like, a huge time gap, and, like, all the teenagers were definitely grown up by then, And so I think it would have been really good, but I mean, it is still pretty good. It was just not as good as it would have been if they just did it right after season 3. So yeah, um, let's see what else. Um, yeah, I finished over the weekend. We actually had a 4-day weekend for Memorial Day, I think it is. I always get Memorial Day, Veterans Day, President's Day, all those days mixed up, but yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's Memorial Day. Don't wanna sound dumb on that, but I think it's safe to say it was Memorial Day. And then, my sister had a soccer tournament. Yeah, we stayed in a hotel for her tournament. It was pretty fun. We had, like, 17 people in the hot tub, but it was only supposed to be 8. And then me and one of my friends were just kinda chilling at the fields all day. Yeah, not much else to say about that. And the 4-day weekend felt way too short. I don't know if that's just me, but I felt like it definitely could have gone on, like, a lot longer. So, today's Tuesday at the time of this recording. I'm gonna upload this tomorrow. I might upload it Thursday. It might be a little late, but I should have time to edit and release it tomorrow. Yeah, I'm glad we have 4-day week, but we have after this week, we have 2 more weeks left of school. So, yeah, um, kinda ready for it to be over. I'll have a lot more free time. Talked about that in my last podcast episode. Yeah, definitely gonna have a lot more free time. Just gonna chill. And I was gonna have a football game this weekend, but thankfully it got canceled because I would have had to miss it. And my QB and another receiver and a couple people are sick, so we're gonna be missing a lot of people. So it's probably a better thing that it got canceled. Yeah, too bad that real football season's not coming up for a while. Right now we're in two-hand touch, like a 7-on-7, and I play linebacker and tight end. We just picked up a new player. He's a friend from school. He's, like, really athletic, and he's pretty good, it's just he can't catch. So I think he's gonna be, like, a fullback or something, because we have, like, some NFL player I don't wanna say who, but we have some NFL player's son as our running back. So he's definitely gonna be the starter. I think our teammate that we just picked up is gonna be pretty good as, like, a fullback or yeah, linebacker probably, like me. We actually have, quite a bit of linebackers now that I'm thinking about it, but some of the linebackers will probably play another DB position or, uh, D-line. Our team's supposed to be pretty good. Um, I'm not really sure, but our QB is saying that we got some pretty good linemen coming over. So I'm real excited for that. because then we could dominate. Not that we didn't last year. Never lost a game. Um, I think it's okay to say we're one of the top in the nation. I'm not gonna give away that much more, but because leak where I live, and why would I want to do that? Eh, yeah, I got this really cool ring. It's huge. Only fits on my middle finger. I got rings and say like champion and all that stuff. My Echo Dot just thought I said Alexa.
I'm not.
Jeez Louise. Turn volume down 3 notches. I just learned it like a ton about what you could do with the Alexa. Like for instance, um, you could have it set to if you say like party time or something like that, then it'll like turn on the lights and only if you have like the Amazon Basics thing, but it'll like turn on the lights, play music, turn on a TV. It could do all sorts of stuff. It's actually really cool. I was trying to get a like a thing that was gonna turn my computer on when I told it to turn it on, but I realized that it's not really possible, and plus whenever I sit down at my computer, I have to press it anyways, and it's right there, so it was really just me being lazy. I don't think I've ever talked about my setup on the podcast. I know I've done a short about my setup before, but I haven't really talked about it on a podcast. I have Asus. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, but it's a Asus Tough Gaming F17. It's actually really good. It's like a gaming laptop. It has a huge screen, 17.6, I think, inches. And then I got a 24-inch monitor. So I have like kind of a two screen setup. And then I got like a 75-inch or 75% keyboard. Or no, 65% keyboard. Pretty cool Red Dragon mouse, Samsung tablet, which is what I use to record all my shorts and stuff. And if you're wondering why I got a Samsung tablet, it's because Samsung's way better than Apple. Going on record saying that. Um, Apple doesn't really do anything. They barely upgrade their phones. Meanwhile, Samsung's making freaking a tri-folding phone. It's insane. And I hate how Apple, or obviously I don't know as much of it as a kid, but I mean, Apple's just not compatible with anything other than other Apple products. So if you like already have something, then it's it's not gonna work with your iPhone or whatever. Well, it still will work. It's just not gonna work as good, which is actually pretty smart marketing because um it makes you buy like their whole ecosystem. It's just nice to have the option to not buy their whole ecosystem and just do whatever you want, have whatever you want. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it about phones and stuff. I just had like this really good idea this day, or this day. Is that like a common saying? Today, this day. I'm not sure if anyone's ever said this day before, but I'm making it my catchphrase now. But anyways, I had a really good idea this day that, what if you could connect 2 PCs so that you could, like, bring tabs over from one PC to another and then close both of them, open the one that you brought it up to, and then that tab's there. So, I'm not sure if that quite works. So I, like, asked ChatGPT about it, and it basically said that there's, an app where I could use the same keyboard and the same mouse for it, but and then I could control one PC with another, which is kinda like Samsung, like, Smart View, I think it's called, and basically it just lets you control it and screen share it and stuff like that. So, it would be kind of more like a screen share, and then uh, it says there's a USB transfer cable, but it doesn't really say anything else about it. And there's the Ethernet connection, and, I'm not really sure if it works like how I want it to, but I thought that would be cool. So, like, it's easier to share files, and you don't have to, like, download it or, like, even share tabs. That'd be a cool thing. Because there's also, like, I'm not really sure how AirDrop works, but apparently you could just, like, send something from your phone to your computer in, like, an instant. I don't really get how that works, and I don't really get what it works with, but something to think about. I mean, when I get older and buy a house and stuff, I'm I'm definitely gonna have, like, a smart house, so gonna get the Samsung refrigerator. If you haven't seen those, it's like a refrigerator, but it has, like, a screen. It could, like, tell you what's inside. You could write notes, you could play games, all that stuff. So it's basically like a tablet hooked up to your refrigerator. And so I'm definitely gonna have that. And then I'm probably gonna have a Echo Dot in every room or like whatever is like the popular device control thingy, whatever, in a couple years. So I'm definitely gonna have those in every room. And so I could just, but I'm not really sure how to connect it all because how it works with, at least what I know of how it works with me and my siblings, is that it's each is an individual thing, and you can't really connect it and, like, say to play, like, if I wanna play music in one room while I'm walking over there, I can't really just tell the Echo Dot in the room I'm in to play it in over there, which is unfortunate, but yeah, I'm not really sure how that would work. I'm a lot more about organization because actually what's funny is I took like this test that takes my personality and my like wants and needs and all that stuff, and it gives me a bunch of jobs that I could do, and one of them was florist, which is strange because I wouldn't like designing flowers, but I mean, I get what the idea is. It would be just like designing, managing, just kind of making everything how I want it to be, which it's too bad I can't do that with like my room and stuff because I share a room with my brother. So we got to run everything through him first. He basically says no to anything that wasn't his idea. And I like things to be the way I want them to be, but that's not usually possible, unfortunately. But me and my brother actually just went to play football with some of my friends. uh, earlier this 4-day weekend, and, uh, we just, like, went to the park with some of my friends and rode our bikes there, and we just played football for a while. It was actually really fun. Then afterwards, we went to McDonald's and got lunch, and actually, there's this really good new drink at McDonald's. It's, Sprite Berry Blast, I think it's called, and it's like a blue Sprite with cold foam on it. It's it's really good. If you haven't tried it yet, I highly recommend it. This is not sponsored, obviously. Only got like 20 subscribers on YouTube. It's definitely not sponsored, but that's actually really good. So, yeah, I've been hanging out with my friends lately. Uh, since the school year's coming to an end, we'll probably like go to the fast food restaurants by our school and stuff and just hang out, just get like snacks and or like ice creams. And so we'll probably do that a lot. There's this really cool thing that like a community center is in my town is doing. It's basically where you go to like the community center, and all kids in grades like K through 12, I think it is, get a free ride to the beach. And so I'm probably gonna end up doing that with some of my friends. We're just gonna ride our bikes to the community center and just bring our swimsuits and go to the beach for the day, which I think is a pretty cool thing that our town does. Town makes it sound like old western tiny village or something, but no, I live in suburbs, or I'm not sure if what we live in is considered suburbs. Talked I mentioned the our bikes a couple of times. Me and my brother have, um, electric bikes. My bike's I don't know if anyone's gonna know this, but it's a Movkin. It's like a Amazon bike. It's actually really good quality, especially for the price it was. It was like 500, $600 with shipping, and so and it's like it held up great. We only had to replace the kickstand, pedals, brakes, tires, but most of that was my fault. I'm usually safe on my bike. I I'd like to think that I'm pretty safe on my bike, because it would just suck if I crashed it, because I use it so much. Right now, I have nine nine or 1,981 miles. So, yeah, I definitely use it a lot, especially since I only got it last Christmas. Or not last Christmas, sorry. Um, Christmas of 2024. Holy crap. I mean, I got it like a year and a half ago, I guess. Time's crazy. I think I talked about that a little bit in my last episode towards the end, but yeah, our bikes are really fun. E-bikes in general. My bike goes 28, which kind of is against the law, but don't worry, I don't take it over whatever the speed limit is for bikes. I am excited for when I'm gonna be able to drive though. So I feel like could just do so much more if I wanted to drive somewhere. Like For for example, wouldn't have to go to as many of my siblings' games, and I could, like, do stuff with my friends. I could also ooh, I just had a good idea. So my cousins live about a hour, 2 hours away between that, depending on traffic, but sometimes if I want to, I could just drive down there for, like, the weekend or something, just hang out with my cousins. That's actually a pretty sick idea. I'm gonna try that out. Well, I can't really try it out right now. I'm only, um, 13? I think I'm 13. But it's funny because, uh, my sister, she is 2 or 3 months, like, too young for the next, like, presidential election, and since I'm, like, a year and a half younger than her, I'll be able to vote the first time that she's able to vote, which is weird because I feel like we've always been, like, separated by, like, able tos, like, she's gonna be able to drive before I can, she's gonna be able to graduate before I can, she's gonna be able to do, like, a lot of stuff before I can, but it's kinda cool to do something that you and, like, your older sister are doing for the first time, or really anything. Everything's better the first time with someone, I feel like. Skydiving for the first time would be pretty scary, unless you had a friend to do it with you, and then it would be fun. Me and my friend watched, like, this horror movie for the first time. It's called, Night Swim. It's called Night Swim, and it probably would've been really scary without, like, without each other, because the whole time, we were just making fun of the characters, we were just laughing at the whole time. We're like, "Oh, geez, that monster looks like he got thrown up by a yak," or something like that. We were just joking the entire time, so it actually ended up being, like, a really fun night, and it wasn't scary at all. I started a new, um, let's just call it playlist on YouTube. It's gonna be, like, comedy sketches. I just uploaded the first comedy sketch yesterday, and we'll probably just do some more shorts about, like, just random comedy sketches, and then I'll put them in a playlist. So, definitely check that out if you haven't. Also, I'm not sure if I mentioned this on the podcast before, but I'm helping my brother start a podcast. So, basically what I'm doing is I made, like, a Google Classroom for him where he can where I give him assignments, then he does them, and in doing so, he learns how to start a podcast, make a podcast, record episodes, post them, edit them, all that stuff. Because believe it or not, this is my 3rd podcast. Um, I had 2 other ones, one with my cousin, the other one a solo one, but that solo one, it was, oh, yeah, there was, like, something wrong with, like, a payment that I had to make, but, um, didn't wanna pay for to, like, put all my videos up, and yeah, it was just kinda blah, but now we're all good. So, keep listening, and thank you for listening to Morning Walks.
This podcast has been the work of Bad Productions, starring Leo Mason, with help from the editor Leo Mason, and Bad Productions producing all of it. Thank you for listening.